Oh, wow. Third time's a charm. Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025, 2:16 in the afternoon, and I'm here in sunny Los Angeles. Los Angeles. So, something's happening. Maybe I said something I shouldn't have, but I'm live now. It's my third go at trying to go live, doing the same thing and recognizing that at a certain point, YouTube is not liking what I'm doing. And I don't know why, because I'm perfect. I'm actually perfectly perfect in every single sense of the word. You know, I wanted to say something very important to me to the screen, and that is keep going. Don't let them stop you. If you want to be creative, keep going. I have no breaks. No breaks. Careering, going, you know, straight off the cliff. I don't care. I don't care. I really don't think that they can silence me indefinitely. But I also think that there are some great people doing great podcasts, and I follow them and I listen to them, and I'm very impressed with what they're doing, opening people up to all sorts of possibilities, including self-healing, which, I mean, all of this human experience is there to keep you in a state of creative flow, right? That's the human experience, creative flow. Keep going. Listen to, who did I listen to? Lots of different people, lots of different podcasts. I'm trying to avoid watching anything on regular television or anything that's put out as like the news. But at the same time, I witness the news by going out and meeting people. So, I mean, what is real, what is fake, who knows, and who cares? As long as you're enjoying your human experience and not hurting others. And there's the rub, you see, because you don't know that you're hurting others. I didn't know that I was hurting somebody, but apparently I was, because their feelings were hurt. And that's sad. And I didn't mean it. And I apologized. And they said, well, what are you going to do about it? And I said, oh, you want reparations on something I didn't even know I did? I'm willing to apologize because I didn't know I was hurting your feelings, and I won't do that again. The good art of repetition is where we are stuck in this human experience. We don't know what damage we're doing when we're talking to people. I don't know what damage I'm doing right now by telling you that you are free. Do what you want. Am I doing damage? Somebody thinks so. Am I doing damage by saying you are free to do what you will? I mean, that's what free will is, isn't it? But here's the rub. Again, here we go. It's like, if you do it intentionally harming others, you're going to stay in a never-ending loop of misery and pain, because the misery you give out and the pain you give out intentionally will come back to you. This is why, as much as I think the greedy fuckers that are in charge, whoops, that'll get me banned. The greedy people that are in charge of, or think they're in charge of society, want to keep us in the dark. They don't want us to know that we're as powerful as they are. What would they do? Oh my gosh. And it's funny how the clowns that are in charge are being followed by clowns, and the clowns that are in charge that are being followed by clowns have more clowns coming up behind them going, yeah, I'm following you because you're following them. Well, it's, stop following, lead yourself into a state of creative grace and human experience that will enhance your life and the lives of others by encouraging them to do something creative and positive. Instead of being destructive and negative, be positive and constructive. I mean, we can make things, we can actually build a better world. It's possible. You gotta believe it, you see. There it is, belief. I have faith in humanity. I do. I really do. And I love you. I love you all. And I just put out a new song. The reason I put out a new version of the song that I just put out a couple of days ago is because the one I put out a couple of days ago, they're banning because there's something in there. Not everywhere, but it's being banned in certain places. That because there's a sample of, I can actually explain the sample. It's something that was sent, that I have in my arsenal, which is a bunch of cleared samples, and it's a ringtone, and then somebody saying hello, and then at the end, this is a recording. Please leave a message. It's very, very simple, and it's like short in one place and then short at the end, and the powers that be that release my stuff to the streaming media shite that doesn't get me any money back, but actually maybe gets my message across that was in the song. They decided, no, it's a sample. We can't do that. You're cheating. You're cheating. You're reading somebody else's homework. Come on. Anyway, so I did have a different version of it, and I've called it The Living Room. It's a little bit away from what I've been doing. I love dance music. I love music that can get you going, like, get your body moving. And this is very down tempo. But I started the song by playing a piano that was out of tune. But I was playing something and I recorded it, and then I built a song around it, and then I put that sample in it, and then the powers that be say, oh, you can't send it out because it's got a sample in it and you're not the master of this certificated So I re-recorded and remixed it, and I called it it's called No Thanks, The Living Room Mix. No, Living Room Mix. All right. Because it was recorded in the living room, not the dead room, the living room. People don't see the irony in what I do. They really don't. Oh, hello, somebody's in there. Hi, Neo. Hi, Mr. Mental. Haha, only joking. Neo listened to a couple of your tunes, but it wasn't my cup of tea. Yeah, I used to be on I DJ'd for a while on a digital station when they first started cropping up. It was based in a studio, so it was like, I think it actually went out locally in Los Angeles as well. So it was broadcast and digital, but it was the show, we called it A Nice Cup of Tea. Because at one point the music I was making, because right from the start when I started doing music, we called ourselves Tunnel Men, bringing underground music to the surface or whatever. And then we had some lineup change, and one guy was being a twat, so I changed it to Tunnel Mental, because I thought, wow, the music's progressing, and we're progressing beyond tunnel vision into a place of tunnel mental, where we're thinking inside the box. And then I called it Tunnel Mental Experimental Assembly for a while, because I was working with lots of different musicians, and so it was like an assembly. So that was abbreviated to T. So it might not have been your cup of tea, but you know, my radio show, Nice Cup of Tea, with my drummer friend Todd, was fun to do in Los Angeles, and Tunnel Mental Experimental Assembly, abbreviated down into T. And so that was fun. We played a couple shows as that assembly, and people interviewed me were saying, "You've got the longest name and blah 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 in pop music." And I was like, "It's T. It was a joke, right?" And they didn't get the joke. And then I put out a bunch of stuff as Nigel of Tunnel Mental, because my music partner that I was working with for about 10 years had a terrible accident and couldn't work anymore. Couldn't produce music that he would have been satisfied with, because he had a blockage and a hearing problem. Anyway, so I've been doing it as Tunnel Mental, and now, because of this copyright strike and various other things, probably this bullshit that I'm doing right now, talking to the screen, which people don't like, because of that, I'm now being told that I'm not on any of these larger streaming sites because I've got too many names, and they want it all under one umbrella. And so I chose Tunnel Mental, and I release it as Tunnel Mental, and I've been releasing stuff as Tunnel Mental. And then I recently put out something, and they said it wasn't available on one of these streaming sites. I think it was Apple or Spotify or something. And I found out it was because I hadn't capitalized the T in Tunnel Mental. So lowercase t, Tunnel Mental. I mean, it gets ludicrous. After a while, you're like, do they want me to give up? Because I won't, but do they want me to give up? I mean, it's not bad music. I know it's not your cup of tea, but it's not bad music. It's just me making music and putting words in it, and sometimes not putting words in it, trying to make people dance and think about life and having love in your life for creativity. It's all about that. It's not about anything else. It's not, I'm not trying to have dissing anybody, really. I mean, God, I know society's gone haywire, but the point is, I'm part of society. So I'm trying to go, let's build a better world. God, I'm having a good old rant today. But anyway, the new song is No Thanks Living Room Mix. And people have already been responding on YouTube in a positive way, which is good. It's just me goofing, but I do it and I mean it and I love it. So that's it. But the thing I wanted to talk about, because I talk a lot about duality, human experience. Our human experience is a duality. Hi, comrade. How you doing, mate? I relate name of your concept to Sentinel Mental, as I was fan of European metal. Yeah. Somebody said, oh, you're in a metal band, Tunnel Mental. No. So as usually. All right. Well, I'm sad that you're so. I wish you were better. But the thing is, probably your average, people asked me in the store yesterday, I was buying some eggs and some toast bread to make toast so I could have breakfast, and I'm still hungry. But they asked me, said, how you doing? And I'm like, average. And they were like, oh, is that all? And I'm like, no, my average is way above most people's average. So it's pretty good, really. And so, yeah, I know you're saying so in a typically European way, which is like, yeah, you're doing good. I know you're doing good. Love you, comrade. Anyway, I was talking about duality, the human experience, because this, we've got choices, this is why we're free, free will. We have choices. right? So we can go bad, we can go good, we can go dark, we can go light, we can go yellow, we can go black, we can go green, we can go orange. We can, you know, it's like these are all choices. And I'm surrounded by people who have been going along with the flow, which is nice. And I've often talked about going with the flow, but I thought it was the eternal flow. But these people are thinking that being in the human experience is something you should be in the flow with. Well, that means that you have dark side, light side all the time. Well, if you're in the flow and you're constantly being in flux, you've got to make choices that err towards the light. You see the light coming in through the door? The light, you know, you've got to try and choose the light side, and that's the creative side. But you can do that by balancing your inner male and female, your masculine and feminine, your divine masculine, your divine feminine, your left brain, your right brain. You make them work. You help them work together so as you can create a better world. You know, you can expand your consciousness beyond this earthly realm of endless choices when you're like, I don't know. And it's like, no, you do know. You do know. You do know that your life is eternal, and this is just the human experience, right? You do know that. I know it. I mean, maybe I was told that as a baby, and I believed it, and that's enough. Who cares? But I believe it. Do you believe it? Anyway, there is a situation in my life right now where I'm dealing with somebody who is an out and out empath. Deep, quite dark forest. No, one of those music isn't too bad, and I do like experimental music sometimes. Okay, tomorrow going for a walk to European forest. Deep, quite dark forest. Yeah, but you'll be in nature, and you'll bring your own light into that nature because you'll be wanting to experience that natural beauty of the abundant earth. Anyway, talking about this duality, but also about people close to me that I'm trying to take care of, one of whom has gone way too far on the emotional scale into empathy and feels everybody's pain. Well, right now, because of all the shifts that are going on in society, there's a lot of pain, and she's soaking it all up, and God, she's struggling. And I'm trying to help her see that you have to detach yourself from other people's emotional pain, because you're soaking it up, and then it puts you in more and more pain. And she doesn't really understand, I don't think, but maybe I'm getting through. I don't know. I mean, I hope I am. But you know, the things that define us as truly human beings are compassion and empathy, and creativity. These are three elements of being human that are very important for progress, in my humble opinion. But the idea that you can be compassionate without empathy is probably safer during this turmoil that seems to go on in society and is seemingly increased over the last 10, 15 years. But the easiest way to deal with that is compassionately, you know, love everybody, just give out the love, and it comes back to you. That's compassion. But try not to get the negative back, which is their pain. You're not trading something. What you're doing is showing compassion for people that struggle. Nothing wrong with that. But if you get too far in, you get hurt, because your empathic nature isn't controlled by you. It's wide open. You know, there used to be many self-help groups that were doing things kind of interesting about, like, completely letting go of all preconceived notions and going out raw into the world. Well, you need to protect yourself a little bit. There are some psychopaths out there. There are some sociopaths out there. There are some narcissists out there, but there are definitely parasites. And these parasites will go in and they will feed off you if you just open up and be raw. So you've got to be very aware of who you're trying to help. I fall foul of this often. I've been helping, some people I've seen, literally falling over on the street, and found out that it's not that it's not pointless because you offer the help, but if they don't want to accept the help, and that's where it becomes tricky, then maybe they just wanted to fall over. Maybe they just wanted to have a lie down in the road, as this old man did that I picked up the other day, because he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go into hospital because he didn't trust the hospitals. That's fair enough. But he did want to go home, and I offered him a ride home, and he was like, "No, I'm going to catch the bus." And I'm like, "You just fell over with all your groceries. You're not well, and you can barely breathe." And he's like, "I'm catching the bus." Luckily, a security guard came over from the shopping center, and he picked him up and helped him to the bus stop. But I often thought about, me trying to help him when he doesn't want my help. And I was like, okay, that's a lesson. All right, I've had enough of people generally. I've had enough of generals, peoply. It's just this whole idea that the only template we've got for a conflict is more war is bullshit. So I switched it round. I've had enough of generals, peoply. People, he said, people generally. Yeah, don't ever give up on humanity. Yes, certain humans around you might be fucking annoying, but you can work around all that. But don't give up on humanity. Love is always going to win. It just always does. Don't do that masculine feminist. I see myself as a person. That's good. I'm not talking about outwardly manifesting your male and female side. I'm talking about balancing your left brain, your right brain, your masculine, your feminine, because we have light bodies. They're inside us is our eternal self, our spirit, and our spirit is both. It's all. That's our fractal of God, piece of light that we know is our eternal being. Sounds a bit wacky, but it's just something I believe in. Do the masculine and feminine stuff. I see myself as a person. Yeah, society is broken. Society is us. So are you broken, Conrad? You're not broken. I'm not broken. It's like times of Obayasa, who's broken. Western Roman Empire. Well, the Western Roman Empire needed to break, much like the Western Empire at the moment needs to break. It's gone beyond corruption, so it's done. So that doesn't mean that there needs to be multiple deaths because of it. It just means that we have to start coming from a place of love rather than a place of hate or fear. Worse is fear. I'm broken for sure. Trying to forget. Oh, I'll put you back together, mate. I'm good with Lego. Not good with ego. Lego my ego. Of course, I wish the best for humanity, and I will be helping them when I go into the afterlife, if I can from there. Yes, you can from there. You can remind people that you are an eternal being having a human experience, and you can remind them that now. That way it will free them up from all this, oh my god, I'm going to die fear, which is bullshit. Everybody dies. I've had enough people generally. I'm broke for sure. Trying to forget. You can't forget, mate. Sorry, you can forgive, but you can't forget. Memory wipes have been memory wipes have been used liberally recently, and still, when you go into that deep sleep and REM sleep, and your memory is all part of who you are as a human in this experience. So forgive, but don't forget. And okay, all right, I'm going to call it a day because I've got lots to do. And if you can find my music, I know, Conrad, you've been listening, and I know it's not necessarily your cup of tea, and Neo 77, it's not your cup of tea, but you can buy the tracks and send them to somebody, and that way you give me $1 to buy more groceries, so as I can do more music making and do more pontificating, even though they try and ban me or shadow ban me or whatever. The algorithm will not win because Al Gore's rhythm can't be danced to. You can't dance to Al Gore rhythm. You have to dance to the rhythm of life. Life's a dance, mate. Keep dancing. Okay. Remember, you're broken as well. Cells are dying, becoming new, but not same. There's a regenerative process that we go through, and I think that's part of, yes, the framework in which we have our human experience slows down, and then we get a regenerative boost, and there we are in our light bodies, and whatever, eternal. I danced. Yes, I did dance. I danced to George Allen's music. George Allen plays bagpipes. Actually, you guys in this chat, try and find George Allen. You can see him in the chat. Try and find George Allen's music, because he makes great made up, just off the cuff bagpipe music, and maybe that'll appeal to something that's primal in you. Maybe you'll resonate with the squirrel of the pipes, because a lot of people do. It's kind of weird. It's like the bagpipes, when you first hear them. Maybe as a child, I heard them a lot when I was a child. But when I first heard the bagpipes, I was like, oh my God. And I looked at the guy who was playing the bagpipes, and I was like, is that guy wrestling an octopus? I mean, I was like, oh my God. But then I sat with it and I listened, and it's beautiful. There's something, again, primal probably, but there's something very beautiful about the bagpipes, the squirrel of the pipes. So, Conrad, Neo, listen to George Allen playing bagpipes. He's actually really good. Yeah, a lot of craziness. Collapse of Roman Empire gives Dark Ages. No, collapse of the Roman Empire actually brought forth modernization of human beings. I mean, I'm gonna, these are all fables anyway. Yeah, our history has been messed up. So, but the fable of the sacking of Rome, it took a long, long time for Rome to give up the ghost. And then where did it go? Into belief systems that are still basing their political systems upon that same failed way of being in charge of other people. You got to stop following fools. We all do. We all have to stop following fools and start treating ourselves like we matter. We are as powerful as the people that we say are leading us astray. So, we're with that power. Do you think Tartaria is true? I looked at an old map. I actually have this threefold screen of an old map, but I looked at an old map of Iran today, when it was called the Persian Empire and Persia. And the map I looked at was 550 BC, supposedly. Anyway, It was the biggest civilization in the world, the Persian Empire. Square footage wise, I mean, there were, obviously a lot less people on the planet then, but we still had a lot of people. So can I believe that Tartaria exists? Yeah. I mean, why not? What harm does it do to think that Tartaria may have existed? I played for Dolphins. George Allen played his bagpipes for Dolphins. That's nice. That's nice. A lot of people have very fond ideas about dolphins, and I've been doing a little study. They are actually very intelligent animals, mammals, but they also do some pretty nasty shit. So they might be close to being human, or we might be close to being dolphins, but yeah, they do some pretty nasty shit too. I saw a map with Tartaria on it. Yes, I have too. It was in Russia. Yeah, I've seen one in a library in the west of England, but in the reference library way at the back where nobody checks out books. You have to go and sit with the books. But yeah, I saw as a child many maps. And yeah, I mean, Britain was attached to France at one point, according to these maps, literally attached to it. And the English Channel, that's why there's, different names for Brittany, So, okay. Okie doke. I could talk about history. Alexander conquered Persepolis. Alexander the Great. I was listening to somebody this morning talking about how many the greats, Catherine the Great, Alexander the Great. I mean, there's loads. I mean, is that a family name? Because I'm going to be Nigel the Great. That's a new name for Tunnel Mental. Tunnel Mental the Great. It's just, come on. We are here now, and we are making progress as human beings. Let us keep going forward in the knowledge that we were born with unconditional love. We will leave this planet with unconditional love, and it's a human experience, and we're actually really eternal beings. So if you use the unconditional love during your lifetime, you don't forget it. You use it in order to operate within this duality, then you'll get plenty of light in your life. Be creative, be loving, be caring. All right, that's it. End of stream. 32 minutes, 33 minutes. Oof. Yeah, I wanted to do like a 10-minute hello. Got a feeling they're wrong about the energy part of that theory. Right, there is no right and wrong. There is only our decision about it. There's no truth. Oops. Yeah, who knows? It's okay though. I feel good. I feel good. George Allen's going to go play some bagpipes. I might go up to the shops. I don't know where you're going to play bagpipes, but maybe I'll listen for you, because they do carry on the wind. All right, lots of love. Peace out. Bye.